Hello and welcome to my channel. This will be my finale for my Panda palette, which I've been doing for this year. And I did this Panda palette in collaboration with the Fantastic Ladies. And this year's theme was Sizematters, which was a bulky packaging or a big palette or something like that. And I chose the Urban Decay Stone Vibes palette because it was bulky. So I've been working on this for a year now, and I've actually used it more than I've used any other palette in my collection, and I'm really happy about that. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish it, but I will show you my progress and go through how many times I've used each shade in this project. So I will show you a picture of how the palette looked in the beginning of December. And this is how the palette looks now. Not much has changed, but I have a few differences. This pan have expanded. I've used this shade once, and I've used this shade a lot for my outer corners, and this one I've used as a nail polish. So this one I actually hit pan this month, and I've used this a handful of times. Since the beginning of this project, the formula have changed a bit. All these really lovely shimmers have, in the beginning there were somewhere in between kind of Colourpop Super Shock shadow texture and normal shimmer, and now they're more dry and crumbly, so they're a bit harder to use because I get more fallout. But I use NYX glitter primer and it works, but it's not as opaque as it was before. They're still usable, but not, I don't get as much enjoyment of using them anymore. And I've also learned that these kind of orange shades aren't really for me, but I can use them in tandem with other warm colors, usually to set my lid. And I usually mix it with white, more of a white eyeshadow to set my lid. And also this brown, I don't like browns that much because I usually do colorful looks. So this one wasn't used that much. However, I was really surprised about how much I like this shade. It's a satin brown, not sure if you can see, try swatching. It's a brown, dark brown, but with a kind of reddy purple shift to it. I loved using this as either as an outer corner, like I do today, or as a winged liner. So this one I really liked, and I look forward to keep using it. So I will go through some numbers for this palette, and I will put up a picture about of how the palette looks now, and go through the numbers of how many times I've used the shades in this year. So first we have Good Karma, which is an empty. I used this 70 times to be able to finish the shade. This year I've used Jade, the green shade, a total of 5 times. This was my favorite shade in this project, and that's why I kind of wanted to keep it to enjoy it in the last months, but it didn't really happen. Opal Aura I've used 10 times, still no pan, but I'm getting a bit of a dip. Tiger's Eye I used 13 times, and I don't think I'm that far from hitting pan because I have a bit of a dip going. Vibes I've used 10 times. I used it as nail polish, that's why I have the big pan. That's, you maybe can see, because the pan has been colored by the shadow. Antidote I've used a total of 53 times, and I have a really big pan, a really big dip, and hopefully I can finish this completely, not too long in the future. Hexed I've used 44 times, which is a lot for a brown shadow because I don't really reach for browns. Bloodstone is one of the shades that's a bit too dark for me to enjoy, but I have used it 10 times this year, usually as an outer corner darkening shade. But because they're starting to get so crumbly, I'm thinking about trying to use this as a nail polish because I don't really enjoy using it on my eyes. Ojo, I think it's called. I've used 14 times and I finished it. Mostly I used it as a nail polish. Raw Energy I used 13 times to finish, and this one I also used as a nail polish. Meditate I've used 7 times, which out of those 7 times I've used them 3 times this month as a nail polish. And I really enjoy it. It looks really good, but I don't like it on my eyes. And the third eye I've used 56 times, and this is, strangely enough, I think my favorite shade in this palette. So what is my plan for this palette now that I finished this year's project? Actually, I'm going to roll this over into next year as a companion palette with my Panda palette with the Fantastic Ladies theme for next year, which I will post tomorrow, the intro. I will post the intro for that tomorrow. And I will keep going until I actually finish this palette, because I want to have one empty palette in my collection. So that's everything for this project for this year, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow in my new intro. Thank you for watching. Bye.